All right, squad, this is Prepping with Sarge for LT Wright Knives, and today we're going to talk about your day pack for when you're solo hiking and why I think it's important to carry a few things with you, even if it's a trail that you know really well. Stay with me now. All right, so any hiking day pack, you're going to need to start with what's your EDC, like what are you carrying on your person? So let's start with my fixed blade here. So this is the LT Wright Genesis. You guys have seen me use this in multiple videos. We're going to put that right there for now. I also recommend that you carry a good pocket knife and at least a couple different ways to start a fire. We got the Wazoo Spark necklace here, of course. And I've got a Blackbeard arc lighter here. Of course, you're going to want to carry your identification with you. This is my Ridge wallet. At least a pocket flashlight. So I've actually modded mine a little bit. This is the PowerTech Saber, and I've got a little Glow Rhino fob on the back. So if you're in the dark and you've got an issue going on, the first thing you need to reach for is your lighting, right? So that tritium in there actually lights up at nighttime, and I can find this in the dark. And of course, your smartphone should be considered a way to, it should be considered part of your survival kit in modern day society. You may not always have access, if you're out in the wilderness, you might not always have a signal, but there's still other resources in here that you might be able to use. All right, and let's go into the pack. So what I do recommend for everybody is if you've got any medical issues like me, get a patch made up. You can go to a place that does those and put your medical issues on the outside of the pack. That way, if you fall and you go unconscious, somebody comes across you, they know some of the things that you might be dealing with. Having a way to hydrate and make water safe for drinking is critical. I usually, for my day hikes, I'm using the Grail. And I've got the Pathfinder titanium cup to go inside that. So it just fits inside there and then slides into my pouch. Now on mine, I also carabiner it just that way it doesn't the Grail water purification system. I don't want to lose that. I don't want it to accidentally slip out of my pack. So I also carabiner it on. And you can attach other types of gear to the outside of your pack. Like I've got a safety whistle over here. Got a backup knife attached to the side there. And I also keep a tourniquet on the outside of my pack. Let's go ahead and break into this pack and I'll show you what else I carry on my day hikes. Sunglasses, whether prescription or not, good idea to carry, especially if you're out in the desert or in your alpine area. That can be you can actually get eye damage from the sun and glare off of things. I keep a little bit of high-vis marking tape. This is just electrical tape. If you're lost on a trail, you can mark a branch or something like that, and it might prevent you, like, okay, we already went down this path, we don't need to do that again. I had another safety whistle inside there, Jet Scream. This is one of the ones that actually will work it'll work fine if it gets wet. I keep a little sharpening stone. This is the Wazoo Gear Viking Whetstone. Some kind of permanent marker that can write on all kinds of different material. Like I could probably use this to leave a message on this picnic table if I needed to. We're not going to do that, of course. Compass, make sure you are taking some classes so you can know how to do your orienteering. And this one actually has a Fresnel lens as well, another way you could start a fire. I keep a little bit of paper so I can mark notes from the trail, or I could leave a note if I have to move from my location, let somebody know what direction I was going to, and I could, pin that to a tree or under a rock or somewhere where they hopefully would see it. Two things that I keep towards the front of my pack is a ripstop poncho. This can actually be made into a shelter as well, and your first aid kit. In here I've got another tourniquet as well as things that I could handle medium to larger wounds. I also keep a shamag in my main pack. You could wrap this around yourself like a small blanket. You can use this to cover your mouth if you're going through an area that has really bad toxic smells, things like that, something toxic in the air. This one here is hard to find. This was actually fire retardant, and I've looked and looked and looked because people have asked me to try to find it for them, and I think this company is unfortunately out of business. Always carry some cordage with you. Again, I prefer to have for my day pack, I prefer my cordage to be high vis. Obviously, I need to untangle that and work on that. Okay, this is my electronics kit, which basically in here, I'll show you real quick. Basically, I've got a couple different ways that I could recharge up my phone, including a little power bank. I keep some gloves in my pack, not just for if it gets cool, but sometimes if you're doing some bushcrafting, things like that, it's very easy to get some blisters on your hands, and that could, if you're in a survival situation, that could make things a little bit complicated for you. Okay, I keep the foraging bandana net. I keep one of these in my day hiking pack. I also keep one in my get home bag and another one in my bug out bag. Very cool piece of kit. Keep a little multi-tool. Well, actually, a couple little multi-tools in here. Nothing fancy, just some extra ones that I had. And the last piece of kit that I've got is some medications and antibiotics, right? So again, depending on where I'm going, I might not always carry that with me, but it is a good idea to have some antibiotics when you're hiking alone or backpacking alone. There's a lot of different things that you could encounter that could end up being dangerous for you, such as travelers' GI issues, which can dehydrate you real fast, or animal bites. If you had to narrow this down to your most important pieces of kit, obviously your fixed blade knife is going to be your most important piece of kit, a way to make water safe, and a way to start a fire. Those are going to be the absolute minimum that you should be carrying with you if you're going out hiking by yourself. These are just to generate some other ideas for you of the kit that I typically carry with me when I'm out solo backpacking or hiking, just even my little day hikes in areas that I know. I typically have this stuff with me. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. Please remember, if you go solo hiking, if you like to backpack by yourself, it's a ton of fun. You get peace, you get quiet, you can enjoy nature, enjoy the squirrels, but it is a good idea to let somebody know where you're going and make sure you're carrying the proper gear with you so that if something happens, you fell, you got bit by an animal, any kind of emergency that you could possibly imagine happens, you want to be prepared for at least one night out in the wilderness, whether it be the desert or the forest like where I'm at now, all right? Make sure you're subscribed down below to LT Wright Knives. This is Prepping with Sarge. I'll see you next time.
Well, I've been told my attitude could use changing, and my lifestyle